configuration changes so that we can deploy our Hazelcast in a Kubernetes environment, and we can use the Hazelcast Kubernetes based discovery. Okay, for that we'll first uh, include the dependency of Hazelcast Kubernetes. So let's add a dependency. The group ID will be here com.hazelcast, and in the artifact we need to provide Hazelcast Kubernetes. Okay, the version will be 2.2.1. Okay, let's quickly go ahead and sync this so that the jar is available in our class path. This is done. Okay, now if you have seen my previous video, I have explained Hazelcast discovery works basically on service metadata. So basically you need to provide what kind of service you are looking to find, and then that particular service basically gets added as a cluster if it meets the requirement, like cluster name. Okay, so basically we need to have that metadata handy before we can jump into writing hazelcast config.java. So before writing this file, let's quickly create the Kubernetes deployment related file. Okay, I'm going to quickly copy this over from a GitHub repository. The link is in the description. We will see this, understand these files line by line, but just to save a little bit time, we are going to copy this. In our root folder, let's create an infra directory where we will be copying all these files. Okay, let's create a file called as deployment.yaml, and let's take the deployment YAML from this GitHub repository and copy this over to our repository, and let's do the same for other two files. Okay, so this file will contain the role related information that we have discussed earlier. Okay, so I'm going to copy this entire thing again. This is done. And the third file which we want to copy is basically service account, and yes, so we have copied the deployment related files. Okay, we are done with the deployment related changes. So we'll try to understand this again, and it will be like an iteration of what we have discussed already, how the Kubernetes cluster basically discovers another instance in the Kubernetes cluster. Okay, so basically a role is an object which gives you access to various resources. For example, endpoints, pods, nodes, services. Okay, and it can do a list, it can do a get operation of all the resources. So that is what a role does in Kubernetes. Please note the name here. Basically the role has been named as Hazelcast role. Okay, and now the role cannot be directly assigned to a deployment. So deployment is the basically deployment of our application where we can mention how many replicas, what image, and all other stuff. So role cannot be directly connected to a deployment. Hence, this role is connected to a service account. Okay. Service account is an standalone object where this gets connected with role, that is using role binding. Okay, so role binding is connecting Hazelcast role. You can see these two names are same, and then Hazelcast service account. This is mapped here. Okay, that's how the service account is binded to this role. So basically this service account should be able to do query of endpoints, pods, nodes, and services. Now this service account can be configured in the pod. Okay, Hazelcast service account is actually mentioned here in the deployment file. So now a deployment file is basically providing a way so that our Kubernetes jar that we, or the library that we have added, can make use of this privilege to query the cluster, and it can look for some metadata. The metadata will be the service name, actually Hazelcast service, which we have already discussed in our previous videos. So basically, one instance is going to look for service, and the service will be connected to multiple pods. So that's how Hazelcast will be able to identify another application in the cluster. Okay, so we will see this in action, or we'll understand it better when we are going to write the Hazelcast config.java. Okay, so the containers that we are deploying in our deployment file is basically Hazelcast-demo that we have just built in our previous videos. Okay, and we are supplying two environment variables that we want to have access to in our application. One of them is environment, basically just to know whether the current deployment that is happening, is it in Kubernetes cluster or is it just a standalone deployment. So it's like an identifier. And another metadata is service account, which we actually need to supply this information to Kubernetes API or Kubernetes library, Hazelcast Kubernetes library, and few configuration related to resources and few related to port exposing of ports. Okay, so we have exposed port 8080, and we also need to expose port 5701, which is the Hazelcast default port. Okay, so this is changes are done, and this deployment will be accessible via this service. Okay, so Hazelcast service is the name of the service by which our other application in the cluster or anybody outside the cluster, if they want to contact to this particular Hazelcast demo, they should be coming via this. Okay, so as you can see here, this is the service which we were talking about. So Hazelcast service is the one. Okay, so Hazelcast is also going to make use of this service name itself to discover other pods in the Kubernetes cluster. If it is still not clear, let's go ahead and write the Hazelcast config. This will make things clear. If you still have doubts, comment in the comment section and let me know. Okay, so we are now ready to get started with Kubernetes related discovery changes. Okay, so now that we have all the metadata and all the role binding present, we can just change the configuration based upon what environment we are in. Okay, so let's see what we can do here. Basically, first we want to know whether we are in Kubernetes environment. So for that, we have done an environment variable thing. So basically, we have provided an environment variable whose property name is environment and the value is Kubernetes k8s. Okay, that way we will be able to know what kind of environment we are in. So let's just go ahead and pick this from the system property, system.get environment dot get environment. Okay, and this property should match with this property name, and if it matches, it is, and the deployment is Kubernetes deployment, then it is going to pick the Kubernetes value here, and then it should match. Okay, here, then we know we are doing a Kubernetes based deployment, and hence we want to have a Kubernetes based discovery. Okay, another metadata that we want to pick from our deployment file is service name. Okay, that will again come from the system property like earlier, env.get. So here it will be service name, and this service name is again coming from deployment file here, whose value is Hazelcast service, and the name is actually the service that we want to point is basically, or look for, is this service, Hazelcast service. So that's how we know the name of the service. Okay, once this is done, at this point we want to disable few of the defaults that Kubernetes join configuration uses. So one of them is basically multicast based discovery, which we know that is enabled by default, and we also want to disable the TCP IP based discovery, okay, so that we just can enable the Kubernetes based discovery. So we can get the join configuration that is currently available as part of the config object. So for that we'll just do a join config variable, and we can get this from config object using config.getNetworkConfig.getJoin. Okay, so as a first step, let's go ahead and disable the multicast discovery. Get multicast config dot set enable equal to false, and let's do the same for TCP. Get TCP config dot set enable equal to false. Okay, now we can enable the Kubernetes related configuration. Get Kubernetes config dot set enable equal to true, and now here comes the metadata that we are talking about. So we need to provide the metadata like service name and also the namespace that Kubernetes should be looking up to so that it can form a cluster. So for that we'll have to set property service name. Okay, so this is the parameter that Kubernetes or the Hazelcast Kubernetes API understands. Okay, this is the system property that we want to set service hyphen name, and then we'll have to provide with the service name that we have created in our deployment file. And another property would be namespace. And here we can go with default because that's what we are using in our deployment file. Okay, now I think we are done with the changes that we wanted. We have enabled Kubernetes, we have provided the metadata that it should look for, okay, while forming a cluster or while trying to find another member. And we have disabled few defaults like multicast and TCP IP configuration, TCP IP config search. Okay, so let's go ahead and do a Maven build so that we can create our image. Okay, so while this Maven build is in progress, let's understand that if and only if the deployment is happening via deployment.yaml, then the Kubernetes, this particular environment value will be Kubernetes, and then only the Kubernetes based discovery is enabled. However, the default discovery method still remains multicast. So if you're running say test case or if you're running say build, so for here you can see it still uses multicast discovery because the Maven clean install has no link to the deployment.yaml, and hence the environment variable value is maybe an empty or null. Okay, so that's why the match has failed and it's still using the multicast discovery. So that we get best of both worlds. While your single instance application or a non-containerized or Kubernetes based deployment can use a multicast, as well as during running a test you can use multicast, and when deploying or moving to a Kubernetes based deployment, you get Kubernetes based deployment or Kubernetes based discovery. Okay, okay, Docker, oh sorry, our jar is ready. Now let's do a Docker build of current folder, and then we will tag it with username, Docker Hub username. Mine is Prakash Sharma 91. Yours will be different. Please use this appropriately, otherwise you won't be able to push the Hazelcast image to Docker Hub. Okay, here you should be using your username rather than mine, and then here you can write Hazelcast demo. Again, this should match with your deployment file because the Kubernetes is going to download this particular image. Okay, be mindful of using this image name here and the image name that you're typing here. Okay, so this is not our first time of building the Docker image, so it should complete fairly quickly. Okay, it has completed. Now let's go ahead and review this in our local. So in the local we can see there has been a publishing of Docker image which has happened like less than a minute ago. Well, let's go ahead and push this into Docker Hub. Otherwise the Kubernetes will complain on not being able to find the image. So this should be available in our uh, Docker Hub. Okay, for that you need to stay logged in into your Docker Hub account. If you are not aware of the steps, please check my previous video on how to create a Docker Hub account and sign in here so that you are able to push these images to Docker Hub. Once these images are pushed, we can go ahead and run the Kubernetes deployment command so that Kubernetes is going to download this file and spin the instances for us. So let's review. So there are no instances running right now. The push is done. No, it's still in progress. Again, if you're doing it for the first time, this could take a while uh, depending upon your internet speed. So this has been done, and same can be verified in Docker Hub. So it is basically listing all the images in my Docker Hub account. Okay, this had been published like less than a minute ago. So the push was successful and all the changes looks fine. Now let's go ahead and do a kubectl get pods just to see there are no running items, no running containers right now. Okay, we can just go ahead and apply this infra folder itself, so all the files will get deployed. Kubernetes apply file inside infra. So inside infra folder it is going to apply all the files. Hit enter. So all the objects are getting created, deployment created, service role binding, service account. Okay, so everything is getting created. Now let's jump into container page, and here we can see the multiple instances are coming up. Let's quickly open one of them. Okay, so we can see our Spring Boot application is going to start, and okay, Tomcat has started on 8080 port. Okay, still spinning up, it's slightly slow. Okay, now in the logs we can see Kubernetes space discovery activated with mode Kubernetes API. Okay, so whatever changes we have done, it's working as expected. So basically the Kubernetes based discovery is enabled, and right now only one instance has come up. So this is the cluster formation. Now another instance inside the Kubernetes cluster has also come up, and they both were able to find each other, and that's how both of them have formed a cluster. So basically both of them have formed cluster, and they should be able to communicate or share the distributed data structure among themselves. Okay, so here again this is another member, the logs of another member which has connected with the other member. Okay, so I think whatever we did was really successful, and we were able to establish connection in the Kubernetes cluster. And now we, in the later part of the tutorial, we are going to explore a lot of things like using distributed data structures, using distributed service, and various problems that can arise uh, during Hazelcast distributed data structure setup or usage. So this is all coming from a real hands-on experience. So stay tuned, subscribe to the channel to receive the latest updates as soon as I upload the video. Thank you.